what do I need to put in place? As we always say, there is no secret to success. There is no, if somebody tells you there is a secret to, actually they're lying to you.
Yes.
They are very common things that people do. It's only that now we assume these things or we think they don't work. Yeah. Even the very people you realize they are very consistent because of what they're looking at, you know.
Consistency, I like that, yeah.
And that is what a few of the things we miss out and think that, you know, when things begin to be so tough, we lose the momentum, we lose the energy, and that's it.
I have friends who I can, you know, honestly say without any fear are not really sure about where they're headed. And the problem with that, Simiyu, is that you find with time and with age, guilt starts to creep in.
Definitely.
And there's a lot of self-disappointment. Those kind of individuals, what would you say to them? And I mean, how do you get them out of such a slump when you meet them in your day-to-day practice? Because someone tells you, honestly, I'm 45, never known really what I want to do or what my passion is.
They don't know what their passion is?
Yeah, there are individuals who are like that. Or purpose, let me say purpose.
You're asking whether on how they can discover their purpose or what exactly they should do with their lives when they get to that.
Yeah, I mean, how do you get them out of that slump?
I think because they are alive, there's a chance for them. Because if you're alive, you can always do something. And number two, you're alive, you haven't given up on yourself. You know, you can be at that age that you've mentioned and you have not given up. You know, that also gives a lot of hope.
Yeah.
Unlike there's somebody who is that you've already said now I can't do, but whichever end, we have somebody who has given up, we have somebody who is really trying to figure out all that. By the way, do you know what? In this life, nobody has figured out everything about themselves, including myself. I even think even you. And so even you can be at that 45, you're still trying to say, okay, what is my purpose? Like what you mentioned. And you know, purpose is not just like an event or something you go there and say, now, this is my purpose. Yeah. No, it's something that keeps on unfolding as you move on. You may have a different, be serving a different purpose at this level of life, then you get a different level, a different space, you have a different purpose. Now, back to what you have just asked, what can we do to this kind of a life that you feel age is not on your side and you feel that...
you're not accomplished.
You're not accomplished. You still have potential in yourself. You can dream again. And also, like even what I share in one of these books that you have, this one, the last chapter is talking about you can bounce back in this life. Oh, yeah. Great, you can bounce back and just reinvent yourself and see how you can be so fruitful at that age. So it's very possible. Number one is just believe you can do something. Don't give up. Begin to change your attitude again about yourself. You know, because you can be at that end, then you realize that even your attitude is not on the right side. And now you see that there is a lot about you. Matters to the attitude, matters to your mindset at that age. What do you think you can do at that time? Because some people get there, then they feel like, you know what, I think I cannot do something. Who told you that? Yeah. Why do you give up on yourself when even God has not given up on yourself yet? I like and you give up on yourself. Yeah. Yeah. So you can bounce back and do something on yourself. But again, now you need guidance sometime. Yeah. And that's why people like you are here. All right, so you can see from resolution to execution, Simiyu has been gracious enough to come to studio with a couple of copies that we want to bless a viewer with. In fact, not one, but two. What I'm going to ask you to do is simply go to my social media platforms, DM me, and just say, Shiko, resolution to execution, and give me a reason as to why you want this book. The first two texts that I come, or messages I come across, for sure, we're going to organize how we can get you this copy and get you jump started to working on your resolutions and then executing them, isn't it? All right, so at Shiko Kaitani, which is SHIKOKAITTANY on Instagram. I'll be looking out for you. Tafadhali, get typing. All right, so they always say that goals should meet a specific criteria, which is SMART. You know, SMART. Sure. Specific, measurable, right? Sure. Achievable, realistic, and time bound. Sure. Do those things still apply? Yes, they do. Where we started, and when you ask me what is a goal, I say this is something that you decide to achieve, which should be specific which should be measurable. And these very things should be realistic.
Yeah.
Should be bound, time bound. And nowadays, we've even taken it higher. We say a goal should be smarter. It has an ER, to mean again, by the end of that period, you need to evaluate. Yeah.
Nice.
And as you do that, you now do again.
And then the R is to reset in case.
Reset again if you need to do that.
Okay. Okay. So amongst these points, you know, where do you see people tend to really have the issue? Is it that we don't many people don't have realistic goals? Is it that we're not able to have measurable goals? Is it that we also have resolutions that go on for 18 years and they don't seem like they're having any end? Like, tell me.
Maybe what we need to do is to, again, it's something that everyone almost have heard about this, but we can relook at it and maybe help somebody be a bit more clear on this matter. When you say smarter or smart goals, when you say specific, what specifically do you want? Do you know the what? Actually, this is what I want. Yeah. Or this is the who or where exactly. That is your goal. That's very specific. You know, like now when you talk about we talk about resolutions. When you say something like this year, I want to make money. Yeah. Shiko, is that a goal?
Well,
yes, it is.
It is, but it's very
vague.
Very vague, yeah.
Yeah. But if we said this year, I want to make 1 million shillings. You see, that's very specific.
Right.
From that, we are able to really break it down and say, now, this year has how many months? It has 12 months.
Okay, so now I have 12 months.
Yes, now I have 12 months, and I'm talking about 1 million. That's very specific. You get that? And so that means I have to make how many thousands in a month?
Right.
You see, that kind of reasoning has already put you on the right track. So if I don't meet anything, I know that already I'm losing it. And that is now you're very specific. So that's where also people really begin to lose it when they talk about setting their goals.
Because the million is the bull's eye.
Yes, that's what you're focusing on.
So you need to build around it. Or break it down. Yeah,
now break it down.
Okay.
And again, we're talking about now, it should be smart, measurable.
Yeah.
Are you able to quantify? You know, like when you just say, I want to make money. Can you quantify that? It's not. But if I said, I want to make 1 million shillings by this year, I can quantify whatever it is. Or I want to travel in the world, or I want to travel to a particular destination.
Right.
You're you put yourself in a situation where you can really quantify whatever it is that you want to achieve. Because anything that you cannot measure, you cannot evaluate it.
That's true.
Yeah, until or anything that is measured can be improved as you're doing this, as you're trying to move forward.
Right.
So as we talk about smart, have to be specific or that smart. That part has to really, you have to really be deliberate about it and see, what can I do? Yeah. Yeah. We are talking about being smart, again, attainable. Do you think you can get these 1 million shillings, for example?
Yeah.
Is it attainable?
Yeah. Is it reasonable? I mean, is it realistic?
Yeah. Is it realistic?
Right.
You know, if it is not, then again, you'll just be taking yourself for a ride.
And it needs to be smarter so that you can, reset.
Yes.
Reset. You know why I'm even laughing? Because when it comes to resolutions, there are very many people, specifically women in this case, who start off the year saying, I'm going to find a man. And I'm trying to apply what you're saying to relationships, because it's so true. Yeah. You can say, I want a man. So let's apply what you just said to, I'm going to find a man. Okay. That is very vague.
That is your goal.
That's your goal. No, the bullseye is the man. But now that is a very vague statement. I just want a man.
What type of a man? Is it a white man?
Yes.
Is it an African? Break it to our context. This is Kenya.
Is it a rich man? Look at my director.
Is it a rich man? Is it a poor man? You know, you really have to.
No, not a poor man. Wait.
No, any man will come your way anyway.
Right.
But now, because you're specific, that also will guide you on how you should handle them.
And then, for heaven's sake, right? Is it a realistic man? Because you can't just be sitting up in your bedroom wondering when His Excellency William Ruto will show up at your doorstep.
No, he cannot. He cannot. And that also maybe something we'll be discussing on as we move on.
Yes.
What do we need to do when we set these goals? What are some of the actionable strategies that we need to align to our set goals? Because you can set goal, yes.
Right.
But to get there, there's some things you need to do. Is it a day-to-day thing you have to be doing? Or is it something that you'll be doing at the end of the week?
Right.
Or at the end of the month? And something of the sort. So it's very much important. There is a lot that sometimes we assume, and before long we realize time has moved on, we have not achieved whatever we wanted to achieve,
right.
and we regret about it. Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Should there be levels that we could work around? For example, you know, from small sizable chunks getting bigger, you know, and adding one block on top of the other, as opposed to trying to eat the whole damn pie.
Well,
and
you know, when it's like you're talking about goals, you know, again, it depends if you're looking at it from the corporate side or as an individual. You know, because if it's the corporate, like now this one, we will have the strategic level at that top level where we are looking at how can we achieve the mission and the vision of this organization. But again, going downwards until now we get to the operational level where now we're looking at the departments and all that. Quite a number. But as an individual even,
right,
you start from that point of this is what I want. But you can't just have it today, the whole of it, unless it's magic. Whatever it is, you know, even know that you've heard about this, that Rome was not built in one day.
Yeah.
They had a goal to put it up, but there was a process that was followed. So equally, even in life, in our day-to-day doing of things, like even me to put up this book, I didn't write it in one day.
Right.
I just had a desire to write it.
So you had a vision?
A vision that I want to write something on this.
Right. And you gave yourself time. Right.
And this brings us to something that is very important when it comes to even being able to execute whatever you want, is consistency. And that's where we lose it. Anytime you are consistent, you are able to make progress. But then that does not really mean that you'll not feel discouraged. Challenges will come your way. But if you've really envisioned what you really want, you'll put yourself in a space where I say, you know what, I'm not going to give up.
It's true.
I have this whole elephant. Today, it's a good day. Not all days will be fine. Then say, today I have to wake up, go there, even if you're just doing something little by little. Before long, you realize it's quite a big thing that you'll be wondering, hey.
Yeah. Oh, I'm here.
Yeah. So.
Well, isn't that something? You know, if you think about it, you see this kind of talk just from what Simiyu is talking about being used by a lot of health instructors out there. Think about it. If you join the gym, it's not them telling you, oh yeah, get to the 100 kg rack today. It's always starting small, bit by bit, chunk by chunk. And then the consistency.
Yeah, that is very important.
That big C word
is
what kicks in anything, whether you have physical goals, whether you have
consistency,
financial goals,
anytime, because I'm saying this because I know anything you want to achieve in this life, whatever career, whatever trajectory you want to take, you'll meet obstacles. Things will sometimes not come the way you wanted. But now when you're in that space, what do? Do you give up and go back? No. Let me give you an analogy of maybe an ant. I think you've seen ants, and everyone, even our viewers, you have experienced them. When ants maybe encounter an obstacle on their way to some place, what do? You'll notice a few things about them. You can observe. Number one, assuming they're going in this direction and they meet this cap, they'll decide either to go around it and keep on marching forward. If it's not possible, then you realize they'll even climb over this cap.
Right.
Moving forward. If it's not possible to do the two, they'll even try to dig a hole or something just underneath to move forward.
Very true.
And that's it.
Yeah.
You know, that's also, it teaches a lot about even consistency. That's how it is. You don't just let it go that way, unless you don't want it. The question is, why did you start it at the first place?
It's true.
Because if the why is so strong, then you not allow yourself to relent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose when we give up, when we drop whatever it is that we've decided to, pick up on, whether it's in the beginning of the year or we've thought about it, is maybe the passion or the drive isn't as strong, or your why isn't as strong. You don't really know why you got there in the first place. Then halfway you realize, you know what, I didn't even want it that bad. How bad do you want it?
The issue is, why did you want that thing? Is it because your friend was doing it? And one of the best drives you can ever start with is your inner drive.
Right.
Is it because you wanted to prove a point? Because if you just wanted to prove a point, sometime when challenge is setting, you'll retrieve and say, hey, this is not what I wanted, really? Is it worth? No, let me drop it and maybe focus on something different.
It's very true.
So you mentioned something that is very important. When the year starts, most of the time, people set resolutions or pass resolutions, which is still a good thing. But the question I also want to ask everyone watching today is, must you pass resolution at the start of the year? I feel
it's the trend. It's the trend. It's what we've been accustomed to.
Yeah, but these are things that you have to do it from time to time in life.
Right.
But even start doing at the start of the year, that's still a good thing. The thing, what is so important is, are you able to execute whatever you pass? Because passing resolutions without executing them is just a waste of time.
Right.
And even resources. And even you realize some people, even say corporates, and even individuals, even spend a lot of resources just to sit in a place and pass these kind of things. But at the end of the day, nobody's making action or taking action on it.
Right.
But as we all understand, action is priceless. Anytime we take action, it gives us results, either bad or good results.
Yes.
If it's a good result, we thank God. If it's a bad result, we have learned something from it. We are way better than if we did not take action. So from just what you mentioned, it's important for us to keep on passing these resolutions.
Yeah.
And as we do that, be sure to execute them. That goal that you have,
right,
be sure to do something about it. You know, everyone can talk.
Yeah.
Everyone can tell me I have a goal. But how many are executing their goals?
Not very many. Not as many as those who come tell you they have goals.
Yes.
Right.
Because if it was so, everyone will be successful today.
It's true.
If it was so, everyone will be at the top.
Yeah.
But those who now do some of these things that you're talking about here today, you'll notice their life is different.
Yeah.
Yeah, people admire them from afar. They're wondering, what did you do?
What magic is this?
Yes, and there's no magic. These very things.
Yeah.
Being consistent, knowing where you are going, why you want it, how do you approach it.
Right.
And as you do that, being consistent and just being in the right network.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I take it that even for you to be able to pen a book, there are individuals that you have obviously looked at and you've seen a pattern in all these successful individuals across the world.
Sure.
You'll be telling us a little bit about that because we want to understand what are these similarities, what is it that they all have in common that perhaps very many of us are missing out on, because if person X can do it, why can't person Y do it, right?
Yeah, sure.
We want to take a short commercial break, dear viewer, but we want you to continue engaging us on our social media platforms. Remember, I am giving away 2 of these books, From Resolution to Execution, courtesy of the writer. He's here himself, George Simiyu, helping you tackle your resolutions and what you've set out to do. All right, so even as we take that short commercial break, remember Dumo Lotto is on, where we are handing away 100,000 Kenya shillings every single day. There's also a bonus cash winner at the, mid part, if I could say, of every hour or so. But what you simply need to do is keep watching K24 for those details and your opportunity to walk away with our cash prize, courtesy of Media Max's Dumo Lotto competition. When we get back, there's definitely more from George Simiyu. We'll also be asking him his why as to why he wrote this book. Okay, stay tuned.
talented young cooks take the lead in the kitchen, cooking up their own special recipes.